ever worked with someone who's always competing? They're taking credit for your work, finding fault, always finding that way to look better than you are. Chances are you have. If I go back through my career, there's certainly been times when I've worked with people like that. And I've also fallen into that trap too. Competition shows up everywhere. Sometimes it's personality driven. Other times it's driven by the culture of the organization. I once worked with a group of consultants, and in that firm, the mantra was up or out. If you weren't promoted, you were out the door in that next round of performance cycle. It created a horrible culture of rivalry. Why help your colleague when their success could mean that you're the next one being asked to exit? There's a difference between healthy and unhealthy competition, because not all competition is bad. As Walt Disney once said, "I've been up against tough competition my whole life. I wouldn't know how to get along without it." And he was right. There is healthy competition that drives progress. Think about the space race. It's what led to people being put on the moon. It gave us many of the technologies that we rely on and use today. During the Renaissance, rivalry amongst artists and thinkers fueled extraordinary works of art, literature, creation. But competition, of course, has that dark side, because when winning is all that matters, you can risk burning out, straining relationships, and creating a really unhealthy, toxic environment where there's no trust. You can even become your own harshest critic, because you become driven by comparison instead of growth. One of my favorite examples comes from the 1988 Winter Olympics. Canadian skater Elizabeth Manley. Now, she wasn't expected to win, but in the free skate, she delivered the performance of her life and stunned the world by taking silver. As she said at the time, "I wasn't expected to even be here. The media didn't expect me. I didn't expect me, but I'm here." She wasn't skating against Katrina DeWitt or Debbie Thomas. She was skating against herself to just do her best. And there's a lesson in that for all of us. Sometimes the best competition is with ourselves. When you compete with yourself, what you're doing is you're not fixated on others. You're setting the goal. You're setting the direction. You're setting the pace. And it's about you doing your best, but also improving on that best. And research shows that when you take that approach, it can fuel motivation, fulfilment, and growth. As psychologist Carol Dweck refers to, this is about having a growth mindset. And when you have that growth mindset, you measure success not by how you compare to others, but by how much you've grown, how you've learned, how you've stayed true to your values. So the key takeaway from this: competition can be a fabulous motivator. It can instill growth, but you want it to be the healthy kind. So watch out for the warning signs, because when winning is all that matters, that becomes stressful, overwhelming. And when you constantly compare yourself to others, it's time to take a reset, because in the end, the most powerful and rewarding competition is the one that you have with yourself, the one that fuels your own internal sense of progress and motivation. Take care. I'll see you next week.